Hello students, welcome. This is Miss Mercado speaking. This is going to be a short lecture over chapter 1. I'm also going to provide general information about how my lectures are going to work from now on, and just some general information as well. By now, all of the students should have listened to my course orientation that was posted in Blackboard. They should have created their Cengage account so they can have access to Cengage and they can have read the chapter. Please do not attempt any of your assignments until you have read the chapter 1 in its entirety, okay? So, every week I'm going to be posting some short videos, hopefully helping guide you into some of the problem solving, or for some of the problems that you're going to have in your homework. So they're more problem solving, more hands-on application-based problems. Now, chapter 1 is terminology. Okay, in chapter 1, we do not do any calculations. They just go over a whole bunch of laws and they go over some general concepts of accounting. So this video is going to be fairly short. I am going to let you all read that information on your own. I'm not going to bore you with information that you can read. So it'll just be a very general overview of the chapter that I'm going to go over. But I do want to let you know that starting from chapter 2 through 6, now this class uses the textbook Payroll Accounting 2020 edition by Big and Toland. Now this chapter includes, or this textbook has 7 chapters. We will only be doing 6 of those chapters because the 7th chapter is a major project, okay? The actual content of payroll and business is covered from chapters 1 through 6. So those are the chapters that we're going to be covering. So we're going to have about 2 weeks to cover each of the chapters. And that way we can have and obtain a better understanding of how to apply the concepts from the chapter to the actual real world scenario of what is expected from us when we go work in payroll, okay? So we're going to have plenty of time. Like I said, I'm going to record videos. I've uploaded them. I'll upload them and they'll basically guide you. I'm not going to be doing all of the problems that you have for homework. I'm going to be doing some of them. Some of the problems you're going to have to figure out on your own. If you have any questions when you're working out your homework, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can send me a Blackboard message or an email. Just make sure that you include your name, the class that you're in, the problem that you're having issues with, and I do want to see how you're working out the problem. I want you to attempt the problem. That way I can see what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and then I can provide guidance, okay? Make sure that you review the syllabus for my office hours. If you need to contact me outside of my office hours, please make sure to send me a Blackboard message. Let me know when you're scheduled and coordinate, and we can either talk on the phone, we can do a Zoom session, we can do a Teams meeting, whatever works. You all let me know what works for you. I'm not very technology savvy per se, I'm kind of old school here, but I can go around and use some of these technology like Zoom I've been using for a while now. So we'll figure something out, whatever works for you. Or if you just want a phone call, then we can just talk over the phone, or whatever the case might be. Or I can just message you. Usually my students, so far, in the past, they send me an email message, Miss, this is what I'm doing. They send me a screenshot of the work, in a piece of paper. I review their work and then I provide guidance via email, and usually that works for them, okay? But every student is different and I am adaptable. I can work with you whatever you need. But if you are struggling, please communicate with me immediately, okay? Don't wait till the end of the semester, okay? Because at that point, I can't really help you. If you're struggling, please let me know as soon as possible. Now, the chapters build on each other. So if you don't understand chapter 1, you will not understand chapter 2. If you don't get chapter 2, you will not get chapter 3. So you need to keep up with all of your assignments. Now, I do give assignments every week. I give quizzes and homework, okay? Now, the reason for the quizzes is so we can understand, or I can obtain information to see if you understood what you read, okay? The quizzes are multiple choice, fill in the blank kind of a thing. Very easy, okay? That is basically based on terminology on the chapter, and that will help you read and understand, what applies to what. It will just give me a good perception of how well you understood the material. Now, the homework problems are hands-on. They're application-based. So they're giving you scenarios, they're giving you time cards, they're asking you to prepare payroll records, different types of things that are going to be happening. Okay, calculate employees' payroll. Excuse me. So it's a hands-on application. Okay, in my class, in any of my accounting classes that you take with me, there is not much of me talking, because in accounting is more doing. Okay, you're not going to learn by me talking for 3-4 hours about, a payroll register. How are you going to learn to do a payroll register? By actually doing one. Okay, so my approach is more hands-on, because when you go out there and work, you're going to be doing stuff. You're not going to be talking, you're going to be working. Okay, so I want to prepare you for when you go out there to the workforce, you know how to actually do different things that are required of you. Okay, so my lectures, with the exception of this lecture that I'm just rambling about, most of my lectures will be problem solving based. Okay, so that is what I wanted to get off my chest. That's just a general overview of how my courses are structured. Every week you'll have assignments. Every week you'll have a lecture. You can work on it on your own time. For the most part, most of your assignments are open on Monday and they close on Sunday at 11 p.m. So you have 7 full days to work on your assignments. You can work on them whenever you all want or have time. I don't require students to log in at a specific time. I know students work, they have families, their schedules differ. So I'm not going to make any of you log in at a specific time. If you need assistance, you contact me, and then me and you work something out and we'll figure it out together, okay? But the assignments are available. Please ensure that you do complete all of your assignments, okay? The solutions to your assignments will be made available after the assignment closes. So if your assignment closes on Sunday, then the following Monday, you're going to be able to see the answers along with feedback for the assignments that you completed last week. So you can go back and review, and then if you have any further questions or you need any clarification, you can contact me and we'll figure something out, okay? The only way you can get the answers is if you work out the problems. If you skip the assignment, you will not have anything to review. Okay. Now everything on your homework is important. That's why I'm giving it to you as homework. Okay. The problems on your test are coming straight from your homework. Okay. So that is why I'm asking you to please complete your homework. That way you get to practice it. You get to ask questions. You get to understand what's going on in each of those problems. Okay. I give you a review for your test. I'm going to highlight which problems you need to focus on. You go back and review, and then it's going to be the same thing on the test. So if you do well on your homework, you'll do excellent on your test. If you don't do my homework, more than likely you're not going to pass your test, okay? So it's very important that you complete all of your assignments, not only to earn points, but to understand the concepts that are being taught for that particular chapter. So, I love to talk. I'm going to move forward, because if not, this presentation is going to go on for hours, okay? So, I'm just going to now go over a few of the concepts provided in the chapter. Now, remember, it is the student's responsibility to read the chapter. Now, the chapter starts off with a general overview, and I misspelled overview, guys. I'm sorry, right here, overview. It's a general overview of various payroll-related laws. The chapter goes over the Fair Labor Standards Act, the Federal Insurance Contributions Act, the Income Tax Withholding Laws, Unemployment Tax Acts, Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the Federal Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996, the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986, the Family and Medical Leave Act of 1993, the Uninformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act of 1994, the Employment Retirement Income Security Act of 1974, the Affordable Care Act of 2010, workers' compensation laws, state disability benefit laws, and a variety of other laws, okay? I don't expect for you to memorize all of these laws. I don't have them memorized, okay? I don't expect you to memorize them either. But I do expect you to read over them and get a general understanding of these laws and acts that are out there, okay? You need to be able to differentiate between each of them, okay? Understand what covers each of those. Now, this is not only important so you can, overflow your mind with information, but, a lot of my students say, well, Miss, I'm not going to work in HR. Okay, that's fine. You're not going to work in human resources. That's fine. But you know what? A lot of these laws impact you as an employee. Okay, if you're working as an employee and you feel you've been discriminated, all of these laws will help you understand, you know what, I feel that, the company is discriminating against me because, you know what, I'm a lesbian. Okay, and they're not promoting me because, they don't want to promote, they don't believe in LGBT rights and all of this good stuff. You can go back, and these laws are basically providing you with some kind of a way to defend yourself from any form of discrimination against you. Okay, or if you need some kind of maybe time off, maybe, some of these laws provide benefits that you were not aware of that you could take. If you get hurt in the job, maybe you can apply for workers' compensation and you were not informed of that. There's just so much information that is provided to you within these laws and acts that you can just use on your day-to-day. Like I said, you don't have to memorize them, but just know that they're out there. That way, if you get to need any of these, maybe you are being discriminated or you're being not treated correctly by your employer, you can file a lawsuit, and you know that these laws have your back, kind of a thing. Okay, so I'm gonna let you all go over all of these laws. There's a lot of information. I'm not gonna spend my hours covering this. You all can read it. It's in your book. Make sure that you just read over the information, and then once you take your quiz, it'll help you to see if you can identify what laws pertain to what, and so on and so forth. Okay. There are human resources department procedures when we're hiring new employees. Every company, whenever they're hiring a new employee, they go through a specific process. And now these processes vary by company and organization. Every organization is different. They might do things a little bit different from each other. But overall, what happens is that a request is received for a new employee. Okay, we need to hire a new cashier. Let's say for that, we're at H-E-B and we need a new cashier. Okay. So what's going to happen? We're going to post the job opening. We need a cashier working at this location, this specific location. We need it in Mission. These are the hours that they're going to be working. We're going to go ahead and post it in our newspapers, online. We have an application. People are going to fill out the application. You put a window. Okay, we're going to have a window of 2 weeks open for this job position. Okay, we examine the different applications that are received. We categorize them, which one fits better, which employee or which applicant would fit the job right, based on whatever information they posted on their job application. You interview any prospect applicants. You administer any test if needed. There's some companies that do personality tests, critical thinking tests. There's just a variety of assessments that can be given to you. Okay, you check the applicant's references. Okay, and then you have a meeting to select and notify the successful applicant that you're gonna go ahead and proceed with hiring them, and this is the offer that we're making them, salary wise, to see if they accept or not accept. Okay, once the employee accepts the job, then we have to prepare a personal send information to the payroll department, letting them know, okay, this is a person that we're going to hire. That way they can complete that applicant's file. They're going to be our new employee. And then they're going to prepare a personnel file for that specific employee with all of the information in it. Okay, so that's usually the flow of how it works. There might be things that might be added or subtracted from this equation here, but that's basically what happens. So the human resource system is just basically general procedures and methods that relate to the recruitment process, the selectment process, orientation, training, and the termination of any personnel. Okay. Every company has their own application for employees. These are standard applications. Every employee will get the same application, fill out the same information. So an application form is just basically a personal record, which gives the applicant the opportunity to provide complete information about their qualifications, their training, their experience, their education, anything of that nature. Okay. So they fill out this application, and that what gets submitted to the Human Resources Department. They review it and evaluate the information presented, and then from there they make the selection of who is going to proceed to the interview round. Okay. The employers need to ensure to be subject to fair employment laws, must ensure that all pre-hire inquiries are free of discrimination on the basis of color, race, religion, gender, national origin, or age. It's very important that when we are interviewing, that we don't ask incorrect questions that might offend anybody, that might seem discriminatory in nature. Okay, and if you are gonna ask a question, okay, that might seem discriminatory in nature, you have to explain yourself. Like, for example, if it's a job in a warehouse and the applicant needs to be able to lift 200 pounds, okay, that is a requirement. They need to be able to fulfill lifting 200 pounds in their job. Okay, and you know, the person you're interviewing is a female that weighs 120 pounds. Okay, how is that person going to be able to lift the 200 requirement? You know, you would have to ask, you know, okay, our job requirement states here that you must lift 200 pounds, you know, how are we going to address that? You know, and then you get an answer. Okay, but you need to be able to have specific. The reason we're asking for this information is because part of the job requirement is that you must be able to lift 200 pounds, or you must be able to do whatever it is that you need to do. Okay. Background checks must comply, and I misspelled the word comply here. I don't know what I was thinking. Here we go. Background checks must comply with the rules established by the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1968. So we need to make sure that if we are conducting background checks, that we comply with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Okay. So this is just a general overview. An applicant, you know, the employer provides the applicant with an application form. All applicants receive the same form. They fill it out to the best of their ability, and then they submit that to the Human Resources Office, which will in turn review the applicant's information, sort them out, and make decisions as to who is going to proceed to the next stage. Okay. Okay. Once a determination is made, you know, we're gonna hire Donald Duck, okay, for this position, for the cashier position. Okay, a hiring notice is completed. Okay, so basically a hiring notice is a form that is sent to the payroll department so that the new employees are properly added to the payroll system. Okay, the new employees need to get paid, so we need to inform the payroll department, hey, we've hired so-and-so, Donald Duck, and this is the information that pertains to Donald Duck, where they're going to work, their rate of pay, what's the first day that they're going to work, their supervisor, all of this wonderful information. Okay, so the hiring notice, it's basically a communication between the department that's hiring to the actual human resources payroll department, letting them know we've hired someone. This is the person we've hired. This is the information. Please add them to our payroll record. That way, they can go ahead and they can get paid every week, every month, whatever the case might be. Okay. Very important that we don't miss this step. Whenever, you know, if you're in the process of hiring an employee, the payroll department needs to get notified so they can put these employees into the system. Then we have a change in status form. This is basically a document that notifies the proper departments of any change in the employee's rate of remuneration. Basically, if there's been either a promotion or a demotion. You know, if you get a promotion, then you're gonna get more money, right? Maybe you're going from a lower position to a higher position. That information is displayed. Maybe you're being demoted. Maybe, you know what, you were at a higher position, you did not perform to expectation, and they're bringing you down. So there needs to be an adjustment made. So any kind of change that needs to happen to an employee's payroll information, a change in status form needs to be completed. Whether you get hired, you get promoted, you get transferred, you get discharged, whatever the case might be. Okay. Now, a lot of these forms in the textbook, they make them to you like in paper format. But nowadays, most of these forms are electronic. You know, we have electronic human resources system within the companies where we have just a form that it's very simple for us to fill online. It automatically gets transmitted electronically to the human resources department. Okay. It's just technology. Depends the size of the company that you're working for and how much technology they use. Okay. Procedures in the payroll accounting system. Okay. These are basically procedures and methods related to the disbursement of pay to employees. So this is how we calculate our employees' pay and then process the system to the actual payment of these monies that they've earned. Okay. So the first thing we do is we record hours worked or units produced, and there's a variety of ways for it to record hours. We can use time cards. A lot of the systems now are like you have to put your thumbprint and then it records it, or you log in using your computer and a code. Excuse me. Other people are manual, where you have to report to a supervisor and the supervisor clocks you in manually. There's just a variety of ways. Regardless, there has to be a record of how many hours you worked. Okay? Whether it be old system with a time card or electronically with a computer, whatever it is, there needs to be a record of the hours worked or the number of units produced if you're getting paid by units. Okay? Then we have to calculate your gross pay, your deductions, and your net pay for each of the employees. Okay? And then we complete a payroll register. Okay? So we need to maintain payroll deduction records. We need to update the employees' earnings records. We need to make payments to the employees, cut them a check, or do direct deposit. Nowadays, most of us get paid through direct deposit. We have to record the payroll in our accounting books, and we have to prepare various payroll reports. Okay, so all of these come from information prepared or presented in your payroll register. So the payroll register is very important, and we are going to learn how to prepare a payroll register later on in the semester. Okay, so the procedure in the payroll accounting, we're going to learn how to do the entire payroll accounting system, from recording hours worked in the time card, computing the different pay deductions, taxes, all of that we're going to learn. We're going to learn how to complete a payroll register and then do everything else. Okay. From chapters 1 through chapter 6, we'll be exposed to different pieces, and then we'll put everything together. Okay. This is an example of a payroll register. A payroll register basically is a multi-column form that is used to assemble and summarize the data at the end of each payroll period. It basically lists all of the employees who earned money or who earned the pay, the amount of the remuneration, the deductions, and the net amount paid to each employee. Okay, so it's a summary of all of your employees, how many hours they worked, how much they get paid an hour, the total that they got paid, if they earned any overtime, all of their deductions, their net pay, and then finally we made a payment to them, okay, either by check or direct deposit. Okay, so it's a summary for all of your employees. This is a payroll register. Okay, now we have the employee's earnings record. The employee's earnings record is a payroll record very similar to the payroll register, but in the employee's earnings record, this is the record for just one employee. Okay, so for each employee, we're gonna have an employee's earnings record, and this information is used to provide complete information about the accumulated earnings for each employee. So every employee is gonna have their own record by pay period of how many hours they worked, how much money they've earned, their marital status, their total earnings, their cumulative pay, everything. Okay, so that way we can keep track of how much each employee has earned for that specific year or period. Okay, so there's a lot of information included in chapter 1. Like I said before, there is no calculations, it's just terminology based. So I am going to let you all read the chapter. It is not very long, and there's a lot of pictures and diagrams included. Please read the chapter and then make sure that you refer to your syllabus. I hope that by now you have your syllabus printed out. I highly recommend that you have a folder for my class. The first thing on your folder should be your syllabus, and every week you need to go through your syllabus and make sure that you've completed all of your assignments indicated for that specific week. Okay, so there is no excuse for you not to know what assignments are due. In Blackboard, I've also included the assignments that need to be completed. Remember, all of your assignments are to be completed in Cengage, so you must access Cengage through Blackboard to be able to complete your assignments. Okay, so that is basically it for this chapter 1 lecture. Next week we will start with calculations of payroll. So that will be another lecture that will be uploaded. Please stay safe, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and we can figure something out, and I can clarify any of your questions so we can move forward in the course. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.